All right. So good enough. We had started writing writing a query already, right? We started with how to create query. How to create database, right? Of course, we introduced ourselves to the workbench. Then we started to create database. We also created a table, right? What we have not done is that we have not started inserting values into the table, which is where we're going to start our class from. At the moment, right? Let's get straight to. Let me share my screen, and then we'll get straight to work. I'm just trying to join. Please confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Right, we are good to go. Now, in the last class, like I said, this is how our workbench, our query tab looks like, right? We created a new database. We call the database amplified, right? We call the database amplified, right? And then we activated the amplified, right? We make it being used from what you are seeing on my screen, right? Who can tell me what database is my query tab is at the moment? If I'm to start querying a database, what database would I be querying at the moment? From what you can see on my screen.
I
Who's
think
telling us?
create
Can hear you. What database would I be if I start to query anything, to write anything on this tab now, right? What database would it be that I am querying? Which nobody can tell us. Should I call him? All right. So I told you, I explained in the last class that when you launch the workbench like this, right? One of the first things you will check is on this left hand side, right? You have the schema, right? Of course, under the navigator thing, you have the administration and the schema, right? You always want to be on the schema. So ensure that you're on the schema, right? When you're on the schema, to look at the schema will list all the databases that exist, right? That you've been working on up to now. You can see the one that I have on my system, both the one I import to the workbench, to the MySQL, and the one that we created, I created myself. They're all listed here, right? And the first thing I'm going to do is to check which of the databases is active. And I explained to you that the active one will always be in bold text, right? So when I ask that which one is active, right, which database I am, I just expect you to look at the active one and I just expect you to look at the one that is bold, right? So as the case is now, I am currently on the Awesome Chocolate database. You understand? I am on the Awesome Chocolate database, right? But then the database that we want to work with for this class, the one we created for this class, right, is the amplified database, which is here. What this means is that if I didn't activate the amplified database, right, and I begin to query the database, Mr. Godwin, you're raising your hand.
Yes, sir. Please, sir. Sorry, my own display is not displaying this administration and schema.
You quickly share your screen. Let's quickly look at that. It should be. Please share your screen.
Yeah.
I'm stopping my share.
Okay, let me just let me switch over to the. Just please give me some time. Let me log into the other system because I'm using the other system to open the SQL while I use the other one to use
Okay.
another
Cool.
system for for the team meeting.
All
Let me
right.
log into the team meeting here, please. You can continue. Once I'm ready, I will let you know.
All right. That's fine. So, like I said, the first thing is to ensure that the database I want to work in it, right, is active. And how to make it active, I explained. You can make it active by simply double clicking on that database here, on that schema pane, right, on the left hand side. Just double click it. Or if you don't, or for that, the simplest way to do it. But if you don't want to do that, you can simply come, um, you can simply come to the query tab here and just type use database. I use amplified. The database I want to use is called amplified. Right? Use amplified. Very simple. Right? And put a semicolon in that statement and execute. Right? And we see that the amplified is active. Very simple. When I ask that question, I simply wanted somebody, right? When I ask that question, I quickly wanted somebody look at the schema and tell me the the uh the database that is active that is bold, that's in bold text, right? And answer the question. Now as you see now, you can see that amplified is bold. It means that my amplified database is active, right? Now in the last class, we see that we created a table. We created a table called student info, right? Inside the amplified database. We created that table inside the amplified database. And if you read the statement, right? The statement we use to create the table. You will see that the table has the name of the table is student info, right? The table has this column, the student ID column, and the student ID we specify the data type to be character, right? To be char. And the length of data type that it can take is 10, right? We also put some constraints, two of them. We put not null and we say that that particular um that particular column is the primary key, right? We also have another column called the full name. We have another column called the register date. We have another column called gender. We have another column called phone number, and we have another, another uh, so if you want to see the table we have created, I want to ask somebody again, somebody to respond. If I want to see the table I've created, what query will I write? How do I query the database to say that the table I've just created, bring it to me? Can I pause? What statement would I use to create? Would I use to retrieve information from the database?
Select.
Select. Right, that's fine. So what we said in the last class, I said we use the create database to create whether you want to the create statement to create whether you want to create the database or you want to create a table. We use the create statement. Or to retrieve information from an existing database, right? To retrieve information from it, we use the select statement, right? So then the way it is in the set of all things, in the setting of all things, we say we select columns. Do you understand that? We select columns from tables. We select columns from tables because the arrangement is we have a database, we have tables in that database, as many tables as possible. Then each of the tables are made of several columns. So if you want to select or retrieve information, you can only retrieve the information from the column of the table. So we always say select column from table. That's how the syntax is arranged. Now, if I want to see the if I want to see the table we have created, don't forget that we don't have value in it. So I'm just going to see the table as it is, right? I'm going to say select. Now, it should be select column from table. And of course, all the column, I can decide to pick any of the column, student, full name, and all of that. But what I want to see is I want to see all the column at the same time, right? Without specifying a particular one. I want to see all the tables. So there is a word that we use to select all of them. It means the word actually means select all. But the character we use for that is the asterisk. So anytime you see asterisk in SQL, it actually means all. So what you are seeing on the screen now means select all, right? Then I'm going to say from where am I selecting this from, right? So I said select all from then the table. I'm going to mention the table I'm selecting it from. Don't forget that we can have many tables under the amplified database, right? But at the moment, the only table we have is the student info. So I'm going to say select all from student info, right? Select all from student info. Now, one of the things you will note you must be careful of is that your spelling is important. The spelling you have used to create something is what you will continually use to retrieve that thing. You understand? So I have said student underscore info. I must always be careful to keep using student underscore info. It is different from student info written together. And note that when naming anything in SQL, don't use space bar. Your space is going to mean another thing. So we'll most likely write it together without any space or use an underscore to separate it, right? We don't use hyphen because hyphen is something needed. I mean, it's a keyword in SQL, so we can't use hyphen, right? So I have select all from student info. And we said that we end all statements using the semicolon. But one other thing that you should also note with SQL is that SQL is not case sensitive. So I have written student info as capital letter S and I use capital letter I here, student info. It is still the same thing if I say small letter S student and small letter I info. It is not case sensitive. I say capital letter select here. It is still the same thing as if I say all small letter select. You understand? So SQL is not case sensitive. So if I put my semicolon and I execute with this button, you can see this thunder-like button here. It's either I use this button or I do Control Enter. Right? It's either I use that or I do Control Enter. Sorry. So I'm going to run it and I'm going to use Control Enter. And you can see the table we have created, right? The table does not have any value in it. We have not inserted any value into it. Now, let's begin to put value into it, right? Now, we have mentioned two statements before now, the create statement and the select statement. To begin to insert value into our we begin to insert value into our table, we introduce another statement called insert into statement, right? Insert into statement, something like this. Insert into. Can you see? Can you see the insert into statement? This is a statement that we use to insert um, value or data into our table. Now listen, before I go further, you will see that I do something here. I write this double hyphen and space and I put insert into. Now, that double hyphen, right? The fact that I put it there will mean that that line 14, right, where I've written that insert into, is not part of uh, the query we are writing. I mean, this is what I mean. I mean that line, anything I write in that line is just for me to note something. It's not going to run. It's not going to execute with the line of our queries. So we use that double hyphen is called single line comment. It's called single line comment. Single line comment. So it is used to just make comments on the tab so that it will not affect every other thing that we are writing. You understand? So just note that because I'm going to be using it right a lot as we move on. Now I want to insert value into the table we have created. This is the table we have created. This is how it looks like. Now to insert, please pay attention. I'm going to use the insert tab, and that is going to be insert. I'm going to say insert. Don't forget, it is not called, the statement is not just called insert, it is called insert into. So I'm going to say insert into. You understand it now? Insert into, then I'm going to mention the table name that I want to insert something into it. Right? And the table name is student info. So I'm going to write student info. Are we there? So I want to insert into student info. I must be very careful to see that I have spelled it the same way. Right? Now, like I said in the last class, a table doesn't stay alone. For you to call something a table, it means that diagram, I'm using to use the word diagram, right? That diagram has columns. So you cannot separate columns from tables. That is why when we are writing a statement to create the table, you will see that as soon as we say create table student info, as soon as we name that table, we went ahead to begin to name the columns that the table will have just in one statement. It is because we cannot separate the column from the table. And the same protocol, the same line, the same process is what we will follow here. Now that we have said insert into table, we insert into student info, I will open a bracket and I will mention all the columns that table has as at now. You understand? And you can see that it has, what are the columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It has 6 columns. So I'm going to mention all the columns. But this time around, when I am mentioning the columns, I will not include the data type, the length of the data type, the length of the text, the constraint, and all of that. I will not include them. I will just mention only the columns. So I'm going to have something like this at the end of the day, right? I'm going to have the first column is, of course, make sure you also ensure that we label it how it is, from where it starts to where it ends, right? So I'm going to have student ID. That's the first column, right? Comma. You understand? Because, like I said, I don't like, this is me, I don't like my statement to be very long. So I'm going to go to the next line. Student ID, comma, full name. I use full underscore name, right? Comma. Reg date underscore date. Comma. Gender, comma. phone number, phone underscore number, and finally I have comma also. Finally, I have department, right? I have department, and this is the end of my column, right? I'm going to close the bracket. Are we together? Now, don't forget, what we want to do is to put values into them. So after I have said insert into, I have mentioned the table name, right? Then I have labeled all the columns that table has. The next thing to do now is to begin to put in value. So I will now say, mind you, after that bracket close, I do not put any other thing. I didn't put the semicolon to end that statement because the statement has not ended. And at the same time, I didn't put a comma here, right? So I'll go to the next line. Of course, you can continue on the same line, right? If that's how you want to do it. I'll go to the next line and write value. That is, now I want to put the values into there. Are you there? I'll put value. Value, because there are so many things I want to put, right? It's going to be plural, value, right? And I'll open the bracket. This is when I will now begin to put in the value, right? This is how I'll begin to put in the value. And we insert value in SQL. We insert parole. Please note this. Values are inserted into a new table in rows. That is, if I'm starting from student ID, I will not say I want to write all the columns for all the rows for the student ID. No, I will write like this. I hope you are seeing my screen. That is, I will fill it for the student ID. I'll fill the full name. I'll fill the registration date. I'll fill the gender. I'll fill the phone number, and I'll fill the department. That is one row before going to the next person. Do you understand it now? So that is how we fill we insert values into the table in SQL. So now I have mentioned what I want to do. I want to insert into the table, and I've mentioned my table. I've also listed the columns of that table. Now I am going to begin to list the values I want to put into it. Let's say the first person is student ID, of course. Let's make the student ID. Let's call it AMP domain amplified. This is just a name. AMP001, for example. Right? This is the first student ID. The first student, that's his ID, right? And mind you, when creating that table, we define that column to be a character text, a character string, right? And then we said the length cannot be more than 10. We will also ensure that the length of the string inside of it is not more than 10. 10 is the maximum it can take, right? So you can see that we have AMP001. AMP001 should be 6, so it's still aligned, right? So we have done that. It's as simple as that. So I have filled the student ID. And mind you, in SQL, you remember that in Excel, when we were writing some kind of function, we said that if you write text, you must keep them in local apostrophe. Do you remember? I trust that we remember, right? The same thing follows in SQL. I've said is that somebody is raising up their hand, please. Mr. Aaron. Please
I
actually.
hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me? Sir, you did not include
Yeah, I can hear you.
ID. You did not include the student's ID. So I'll be asking, like, is it going to actually read it? Because in these new ones that I just listed, this new the new tables just listed, student ID is not part of them.
Yeah. Okay, let's check it. Oh, student ID is here. Can you see? Can you see my screen?
I see it, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, it's there. So it's because I break it from there, right? I can as well come to this place and say and break it there so that everything will list like that. So it's still the same thing. Maybe that's why you didn't see it. So student ID is there. All right. So I was saying that Now, after writing the first value, you remember that we said in Excel, if you're writing a text like that, we keep it in double apostrophe, right? So what you do in Excel, you know, I also said in one way that your Python, your SQL, and then Excel, and another SQL, another data analysis tool that is called R language, they are written in the same, kind of language. You understand? They both understand the same way. You understand? So we will also keep this one inside a double apostrophe like this. You understand? The difference this makes, the little difference we have in SQL is that in Excel you can only use double apostrophe, but in SQL, if you don't want to use the double apostrophe, you can use that single apostrophe, right? I mean this one, just this one. You understand? When I say double apostrophe, I do not mean that you will press this 2 times. No, this is not double apostrophe. I mean that character before enter on your keyboard, you press shift before pressing it, then it will give you this double apostrophe. But if you press it without the end, without the shift, it will give you the single apostrophe. Now in SQL, you can use either of the two, but make sure that if you have decided to use double apostrophe, you must use double apostrophe all through. If you are deciding to use single apostrophe, you must use single apostrophe all through. Do you understand that? Now I'm using a double apostrophe. Maybe if we are doing another one, we'll use a single apostrophe. That's fine. So I have just inserted the student ID for the first person, right? I will say comma to go to the next value. Don't forget that this is student ID. The next data that I want to input will now be full name. So what will be the full name? Let's say we have Aaron Awe here. That's the full name. Aaron Awe. All right. We have Aaron Awe. And like the custom is, I will also keep it inside the double apostrophe. Right? Just like that. I'll keep it inside the double apostrophe, just like that. Right? All right. The next thing is registration date. So registration date, the data type is a date, right? The data type is a date. Now we should note that in SQL, right, the date, the format is mostly it better understand for date is to have year, month, day. This is what I mean. Let's say that the registration date for this class when let's assume that Aaron Awe register for this class on the let's just say on the 24th of March, for example. Let's say 24th of March 2025. So the registration date will be 2025, right? Right? 21, sorry, month. That is right, and 21. We get that, and then right, and then what else? I am going to move to the next column, which is gender. Right? I'll move to the next column, which is gender. Now remember that our gender, when we're defining it, we said gender should be character 1. That's the data type, character 1. So I cannot write male or female because the length of the character we have said is 1. So we want to use acronyms. So we can only use we'll come and say that is Aaron is male, right? So Aaron is male, we'll write male. Don't forget, we'll keep it inside of apostrophe because it's a text. So we have male. You can see that. Then we say comma. Then we'll go to the next phone number, right? What is Aaron's phone number? Phone number, it is not a number, right? So we're going to write, sorry, phone number, we're going to write it as 0, let's say 080 111 222 333. Is it up to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Is it up to 11 characters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I think it is right. And I will say comma. Now you will notice two things. That okay, let's finish it. The department. Let's say what department is it? Let's say is in, let's just call that department. Let's note what is the character string, character length. Department is 50, so you can write anything that is not more than 50 character. All right, somebody is asking a question.
You didn't put double apostrophe for the
what?
For the phone number. There's no phone
yes,
number.
Because, yes. Now, the way it is, if you recall in Excel also, we don't put the double apostrophe on number. We only put it on text. You understand? The same pattern follows here, right? That's why we didn't put it on date as well.
All right.
All right. So we are going to say department. Let's just give the department. Let's say is a data. Department is data analysis. Let's analytics, right? That's the department, and I'm going to keep it is a text. I'm going to keep it inside the double apostrophe and like that, right? Now you can see that as it is now, I have filled in the values for the first person. All these things now, they are values for the first person. I hope you understand. Don't forget, we are filling by row. So we have just filled the first row, right? I'm going to close the bracket, right? I'm not done. I've only filled the first row. I will start again by filling the second row using the same pattern. Let's say the second row now should be a bit faster because we have understood the line, right? Now, let's say for the second row, we have AMP002 to be the student ID, right? I close it. I say let the student name be let's just use permission to use the name Ade4 Binga, for example, right? Binga. I'm going to keep it inside the double apostrophe as well, right? I'm going to put a registration date 2025 from apostrophe hyphen O. Let's use O2, that to be the month, and let's use 23, right? Comma. Is it a male or a female? Is a male, right? Right. And what's the phone number? Is a number, so I don't need to bother about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Is that all? Is it up to 10, 9, 10, 11? Yes. Then I'm going to somebody wants to ask a question. Please ask a question. Please ask a question. Is that Milola?
Okay, yes, sir. I'm just curious. I want to ask. I'm trying to do these rows and column, trying to write this data. So I want to know that if we have about like let's say 200 names or more, is that how we
yes
and writing?
All right, that's a question that in all my classes somebody will always ask, right? I'll come to answer that question, right? I'll come to answer that question. All right, let's move on, right? Okay, the focus is to make you understand how to create it, but then I'll come back to that question. Now, this is the phone number, and the next thing is department. Let's say Ade Benga is in let's call the department, let's call it, I don't want to use the same thing, so let's just say it's in let's just use IT, for example, IT department, for example, right? And that's it, right? And we are done with that. We are done with that row as well. We'll close the bracket, right? Then we'll go to the next row. Let's do one more, right? Because of our time. Let's do one more. I'm going to open the bracket, and after opening the bracket, sorry, you will see that there's an error here. Now, after the first row, before I move to the second row, I'm supposed to put the comma to show that I am done with the first row. Now the second row, I'm done with it. I'm going to put the comma to show that I'm done with the second row. Now I'm on the third row. I hope you get that now. That comma is very important. We are moving from one row to another. So let's say now for the first row, the next person is the next student ID is AMP003, right? Then I'm going to close it, right? let's put the name to be let's put it to be Damilola. Let's write Damilola, right? Please give me a surname. Damilola, please give me a surname. Are you there? Okay, somebody is talking. So let me please mute your mic if you're not talking by default. If you're not meant to talk. All right. So we have Damilola. Let's put Adeyeye, for example. Adeyeye, right? I'm going to close. Please mute yourself if you are not in class. Please mute yourself if you are not in class. If you are not speaking, please mute yourself. Damilola, please mute yourself. All right, that's fine. All right, so we have inserted that, and then we'll go to the next column, which is supposed to be registration date. Let us make the registration date to be 2025. Let's say 02 as well, and let's make it 12, right? And then comma to the next one. Let's make the phone number to be 070-123456789, right? And the comma
gender,
right? Gender. Thank you, sir. So we have gender. For gender, let's have she's a female, right? And that, right? And then the last thing here is department. So let's put the department to be accounting. For example, let's say we have accounting, right? Let's just put that because I don't want to have the same thing, right? And then that's the end of it, and I'm going to close it, right? This is I've inserted value into it. If you want to do maybe 10 rows, that's how we continue. If you want to do 200 rows, that's how we continue, right? But now I want to stop at 3 rows, right? And I'm going to put in the column, semicolon, to show that I've ended my statement. Then I'm going to run it. You understand? You can see that as it stands, I don't think there's any error anywhere. You can see we have executed, right? It shows that we have written correctly, and I'm going to run. Of course, if there's any error, it will show it here on the action output, and can correct that. So I run. Now there's an error. We have error, so we're going to look at the error to see what's happening. Now it says incorrect date value 2001 for column registration date. So let's look at registration date, right? So there is an error with our registration date. Let's look at what it says. Registration date as row 1. As row 1. So let's quickly try to look at that. Right, let me check something before.
I think, sorry, sir, I think it's not from the date formats. The date formats.
No, it's not the date format. Let me quickly check it. All right, it's correct. Now, please note the apostrophe also works on the date, right? So we're supposed to also keep the date inside the apostrophe. The date, the registration date, right? So it is only the number that we don't put in apostrophe because it is the number. But any other thing, any other data type, date or character string data type should be inside the double apostrophe or a single apostrophe if that's what you want to use, right? And you can see now we have executed it, and then it says it marks the output is correct. Now we have inserted values into the table. Of course, you won't see the table until you now call it out, right? So the table, the values are already placed appropriately in the table. If I need to see it now, how do I write the query how do I create the database to give you the table? Anybody to tell me? If I need to see my new table now with the values, with the data that have been inserted into it, how do I call it out? How do I query the database? Someone should help me out.
Select from, I think, not values.
Thank you. Select. Yes. No. Select all, because I want to see all the columns. Select all from. Don't forget the syntax. The syntax is that you select what you want to select, right? If it is one thing, you mention the thing. If it is all, as in this case now, we will use the asterisk. So select all from table. Select column from table. That's the syntax. Select column from table, right? Now, the place of the column is replaced with this all to show that it is all the columns that I want to select, right? Now, select all from, I'm going to mention the table. I don't write table, I'll write the name of the table, which is student underscore info, right? Now, if I write this now, I should see my table. Now, do you now see that I have, what do you call it? The table has been populated with the information that we have in it. Do we get that now? Do we understand this? Can we see it? All right, so this is how to create a table. This is how to create a table and insert the values into the table. We're going to do a task now, but then somebody asked a question and said, if we have 10,000 rows, is this how we are going to do it? That's a question that was asking, because even the three that we have done, you can see how long it takes us. Imagine we are working with that number of data sets. Now, the truth is this. Usually, in many cases, or in most cases, your database will not be created manually like this. You will do every other thing, though, but to create table, in many cases, to create table, you will not create table manually like this to say that you want to begin to insert values into it. What happens in most cases is that we will use a system to bring data into the table we have created. We can create the table like this, to say create table, with this query, with this particular query, right? This is what we use to create table. But to insert your data into the query, into the table, we will most likely not do it this manually like this, right? It's either you are responding to a questionnaire, you are filling a form somewhere, and then the form, the link to which you are filling that form is synchronized to this database that we have created. So when you respond to it and you press enter, right, this becomes the work of the database administrator or database design. It will find its way into the table we have created like this. And that is how all the information will be populated. You can see now that using that method is very easy, right? But we need to understand the process so that we can move further to do other things that we want to do. Because there are still other things that we will still do with this table we have created, with this data we have inserted into the table. For example, right, if we have gone to collect all this information, let's say we have 10,000 students from all over the world, right? And those 10,000 students have filled this form with a link that we send to them, and all the information has come to this table we created in this database, right? There may be errors that we need to begin to update this table, change something, delete something, right? So we still need to write queries to do all of those things. And if we do not understand how the tables were created, we will not know the better way to approach it. For example, if you don't understand that the columns of the tables, right, some of them are created with constraints, or some of them has data type, that this length of data type that we are not even aware. We will not know how to deal with them. That's why we need to understand these processes from the point of creating the table and inserting figures into the table. I hope we understand that. I hope I answer your question, Ms. Dami. All right. So
please, I have a question before you move from there. Before you move from here. You were talking about that, okay, we don't need to, that we have to import the tables maybe from a database or somewhere. I'm trying to figure out how we import it, as in how we bring the table into what we have created, into the table that we have created. How we bring in the values.
Number one, I said that is the bulk of that work is on those who are managing database, right? So data analysts do not really bother, right? But then let me just, because you asked that question, let me just give a light, right? Usually it will be that we create the table from here, right? I have created the table using these statements, right, to create the table. And you can see what the table was before we put in the value. We had only this column, right? Now, I will also, then I must be able to use, I would have been able to use other languages like HTML, right, and CSS and some other, website, design languages, right? So with HTML and CSS, it's easy for me to design a form, right? Now, when I design a form, I'll now link the form that I've designed with HTML and CSS, right? I'll link it to this table that I've created here in MySQL. You understand? So that is one way, and there are several other ways. So when you fill the form, I would have instructed, the HTML that when they fill the form and they press enter, it should come to this database. I hope you understand that now. So that's one of the ways at which that can be done. So it's as simple as that.
Right,
but then it's more of the, usually for data analysts, ours is to have the data. Let them give us the data. Our own is to extract the data and work with the data. So like I said, we only need to take it from this point, so that we can understand other things at the future. But the bulk of this area, the work on this area that we are, is a task for those that are, designing the database, or they are managing the database. I hope I answered that question. Mr. Binga, I hope I answered that question.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you,
yes.
All right. So select all from select info, and we can see the table we have just created. Now, because this is a task that needs attention, I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to quickly send something to our WhatsApp, right now. I want us to create two tables under the database, right? Let me quickly give us that question. I hope our WhatsApp is active. All right. I just shared something to our WhatsApp. Can we see it? Is there any response?
Yes.
All right, sir. Now, I'm showing it to be two of them, right? So, in just a quick time, please, I just shared two tables, right? Now, the first one, call it person, call the table persons, right? And the second table, let's call it orders. So I need us to create those two tables under the amplified database. So we're going to create two tables, right? Call it anything you want to call it. Call it those names, but you should decide. The table has I'm coming. The first table has the following columns. That's P_ID. That is the person's table. it has pre_id, which means person ID. It has last name, it has first name, it has address, and it has city, right? That's the first table. So, and the data are inside of them. The values of those each columns are in there, right? Create it and name it persons. Now, the second one also is an order table, and the columns are OID to mean order ID, right? We have order number and P_ID. Please, can we quickly do that in the next maybe 5-10 minutes? Everybody, please. Please, if you're in this class, please, I want to urge us to attempt it. Please attempt it. If you need to quickly scroll up to how we have done it to refresh your mind, please do that, right? Everybody should participate. It is the doing together, you know, that helps us to understand it better. Even if you didn't get it at the end of the day, take all efforts to ensure that you get it. Thank you very much. I'll be waiting here to see who is done with it. Mr. Godwin, please share your screen. I didn't see your message before now. Just saying it. Mr. Godwin, please share your screen. Let's quickly look at that. Why others are
Okay. All right,
the
sir.
data. All right.
You see me, sir?
Yeah, I'm seeing your screen.
Okay. Okay, so this is it here. This is how it is.
Yeah, so what's the issue? Because now it's show.
Sir?
Okay. You want to this black area, right? Is that the issue?
I didn't get that.
What's the issue now? Because this screen is showing well.
Okay, what I mean is that from your
Okay, I talked about
the
schema and all of that, right?
the administration and the schemas is not shown from my end.
It should be somewhere. Oh, and these Microsoft things cannot annotate. I would have shown you, but yes, no, that side where you are, come down, leave that area. Are you not seeing it
Performance
somewhere?
schema.
No.
Performance
Now,
schema
calm down.
setup. That is why I can see
You
it.
are under administration at the moment. You are under
Sir?
administration. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You are under administration at the moment, so it's not this area. Please, not Terry, let me share my screen so that I can wait for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
Confirm if you can see my screen.
Okay, yeah, just loaded now, yes.
All right. Now it should be here. Are you not seeing it somewhere here? This is where you are. So this is where this is your performance, the performance function that we mentioned the other time. Can you see now? This somewhere
Yes.
here. So it means that you are under administration. So if you move to this side, you will see schema here. Administration and schema. So you just click it and it will come to this page. Can you see it on your system?
I'm clicking on it, but please hold on.
Eh?
Hold on, please. It's loading. This thing is rotating. Right. Okay, when I click on it now, it's showing me something else. It's not showing that schema.
It's not showing you schema. Do you see the schema here? Under that area where you have performance. You know, we have management, instance,
Yes, the
and performance.
performance schema setup. That is what I click on, and there is a drop this thing that is bringing
So
out.
it is not. Did you see performance? Did you see
I've seen
performance?
performance. Yes, I've seen performance.
Now,
Yes.
don't click anything there. Do you see this area that has information? Can you see? Look at my screen. This area that has information. Can you see it?
No. It's not there.
Ah, I really don't know how to make it. I believe it's there. Ah,
No. If I can share the screen for you to see how when I click on performance schema setup, what is
do something.
displayed.
Please take a screenshot and send it to the group, the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
Do screenshot and send it to the WhatsApp group.
Okay.
All right. Screenshot the whole of the screen so I can see everything that's done. Please, who is done? Who is done? Somebody should be done by now.
Oh, this one.
Is anybody done? Okay. Is anybody done? Nobody is showing that he is done or not. Okay. So I'm going to do that very shortly now. Please, please, I need somebody to do it. Nobody is saying anything. Okay. I understand that, and some people are having issue with the SQL like Mr. Binga, like Mr. Godwin. so far, those are the two persons that I know have issues. Right? Oh, okay. I think I also know some other person that have issues. Okay. So let's do it. All right. So I'm going to do it, and then we want to create table. So we are creating a table. That's what we are doing. It's very simple. I'm going to say create, right? Create. What am I doing? What am I creating? I'm creating a table, right? I'll call the name. I say let's call it persons, right? Let's call it persons. Then I'll list all the columns that I want the table to have, right? So it's going to have uh, PID column, and that PID column, I want to be the data type should be car, right?
Hello, sir. We can't see your screen now.
Oh, you can't see my screen.
I can see the screen. Oh, I can see it.
How is it now?
I can't see. Maybe I'll
Yes,
log out and log in back.
I can
I
see
can't
it.
see.
I can see the
I
screen.
just logged in back. I think it's from your hand. If you are the only one that
I can see the screen.
do you want to? Okay, that's fine. He's rejoining again. All right. Please confirm if you can see the screen now.
Yes, can
Now,
All right.
yes, sir.
That's fine. So I'm going to state the data type. I want to use a car, and the length. I want the length to be PID. Maybe the length should be 5, right? Then that's all. The next thing in that, what's the next column in the image? In the image I shared with you, what's the next column? Is it first name or last name?
Last name, last name.
Last name. Uh, sorry. All right, last name, then first name, right? So we have last name, right? Then I'm going to say, I'm going to I'm going to select Vaka. I want it to be a Vaka, and the length should be, let me just pick 30, right? Then next is the first name, right? So it is not case sensitive, all right? Another Vaka, right? And length should be 30 as well, right? What's the next after that? What's the next after that? Address and
First
city.
name.
I've written
First
first name.
name.
I've written first name. So the next is address. Address also. I want Vaka, and I want to be Vaka 50 because address can be long, right? City. The next is city, right? I also want Vaka for the city. Yes, I also want Vaka. And then the length should be, let me just pick 15, right? Just pick 15, right? So this is the table that I want to create, right? And then I'm not putting values, I'm just creating the table. So I'm going to have close the bracket for the 15 for the length. I'm going to close another bracket to cover for the one I open here. You understand? This bracket closes this one, this bracket closes this, right? And I'm going to put a semicolon to show that I'm done writing that statement, right? And I'm going to execute, right? So I execute, and then you can see my execution. My statement is correct, right? And don't forget, because it's long, this is just me. Like I used to say, I can decide to come and put it, break it somehow, like this, right? No issues. I'm just want making my screen to be how I want it to be, right? And like this, right? The same thing, right? So if I want to see the table I've just created, I'm just going to say select all from now the table is persons now, persons, right? I'm going to run that, right? You can see now that's the table I have created. Now the next thing is to begin to put in value into it, right? That's what we just did today. I'm going to say insert, right, into what's the table name? Insert into persons, right? And I'm going to list the column that it has, but this time around without the constraint and the data type and all of that, and the length of the data type and all of that. Without that, so I'm just going to go straight. I will ensure that I spell it, the way it is spelled when I was creating it. I have last name, comma. I have first name, comma. I have address, comma, and I have city, right? So this is the table that I want to create. Now I will put the value, right? Values, right? I'll open the bracket and I'll start from the first. The first one is 1, and because it's a number, I don't need to put anything. The next one, the next name, the last name on the first one is let me check it again. Ansin. The first name is Ola, the last name is Ansin, right? So I'm going to put Ansin. Spelling is key here, but don't forget that these are text. I'll keep it inside the double apostrophe, and I can use single apostrophe if I like, right? And I'm going to say the other one is Ola, right? I'm going to keep it that way. The address is Timothy 10, right? I'm just going to write it that way. Timothy 10, right? Timothy 10. Keep it in there, right? And say comma, right? And the city is, where is the city? Sandnet, right? The city is in Sandnet, right? Sandness, right? And then I just kept it in there, and then I've closed the bracket. That is the first row. I am not putting semicolon now because I'm not done. I'm just going to put a comma and go to the second row, right? On the second row, so I would say the PIG is 2, comma. The name is Vincent Tove, right? Vincent is spelled this way, Vincent, right? And the first name is Tove, right? Tove, right? Very simple. And I'm going to say the address is Borgven 23. So I'm going to spell it the way it is, Borgven, right? 23. That's the address. And the city is also Sandnes, right? The city is also Sandnes, right? I'm done with that. I'm going to close it. So that's the second row. It actually has 3 rows, right? So I'll go there to fill in the third row, right? And what do I have on the third row? And Peterson carry, right? So I have 3, comma, Peterson. I hope I spell it well so that we don't make mistake. Peterson. So it's Peterson, right? And then it's not pattern, it's Peterson, right? Comma, carry, right? Comma, right? I have a stock 20, stock 20, stock 20, right? That's the address, right? Stock 20, yes. And then Stavanger, the city is Stavanger, Stavanger. Yes. So this is a person table. So this is exactly what I told us to do, and I'm going to close that bracket, and of course, I'm going to put my semicolon because there are just three rows in it, and I've just done all of that. So I'm going to run it, and as I run it, you can see it gives me no issue, right? And if I want to see it, I can always refer back to this select all from person, right? And execute this. I can see my table. You can see that I have my table in it. Very simple, right? Right. I've given you this task to do because we are going to use this table throughout the class, right? So there's a second one. So let's do the second one also together. And the table is called the order table. So to create it, right, I'm going to say create table, right? Create table. And what do I want to call the table? I want to call it orders, right? Did anybody try this? Really, it's not really
Yes,
trying
sir.
that. I will. Okay, did you try your own? Did you get it? Did you create it?
I've
Was it
not
created?
gotten to the value part before you called it up.
Okay. All right. Okay. So let's go ahead. So it's just fine. When there is a task like that and there is a response from the audience, like it just make me feel that we are we are aligned. You understand? But then, unlike I call the question, nobody attends it, and I come back to call it minutes. I hope you understand. All right. So create table. We are calling it orders, and you know the next thing to do, right? Part of the table is the column. So we're going to put in the column, right? We're going to create the column with it, and the column is supposed to be OID, order number, and PID, right? So I'm going to have O is capital letter I D, right? And then what should be I'm going to put the data type. Let's use car. Let's also use car 5, right? Comma. Order number. Yes, the other let's say is order number. Order is the order number like this? Let me check. Order number. Yes, order number, and then order number will have the data type. Let's use number, right? Let's just number. Now, if you want to write number, the data type for number, is an integer. So we write the integer as int, right? Yeah, that's data type. But if you are writing, if your data type is int, you don't need to put the length. Just write int, right? The other thing you can write is either it is big integer, big int, or tiny int, and all of that. But then if you write int, we are good to go, right? Then p, the other column is p underscore id, right? And I want to use the data type should be another car, right? And the length should be 5. No, yeah, the length should be 5, and like that. So we have just created this particular table. No stress. And I'm going to close the whole bracket and put my semicolon. I'm going to run it, right? I'm going to execute it. And if I want to see it again, I'm just going to say select all from order this time around because I've now created another table. So I'm going to say select all from orders. It's order. So the spelling is key. And I have that. I'm going to execute it. You can see now that I have the orders table. You understand? So there's no value in it. So let's put the value into it. Now you see what I shared with you, and you know how the value looks like, right? So let's put the value into it. To do that, we are going to use the insert into, right? I'm going to say insert into what? Into orders. You understand? That's the name of our table. And I'm going to list the column that it has, right? Without putting the data type and constraint and all of that, right? So I'm going to say O underscore ID, comma, order numbers, order number, comma, and the next thing is P ID, right? P underscore ID, right? And I'm going to close the bracket. Then I'll say values, right? To put the values, right? I will open the bracket. And if you look at the first one is 1778953. Okay, so it is 1, comma 77895. They are all number. Then 3. Then 3. You can see that is that. I'm done with that. For this one actually has I think 5 rows. I'm done with the first row. I'm going to say comma to go to the next row. I'm going to open the bracket to fill the next row. The next row is 2 4 4 6 7 8 3, right? So that is 2, comma 4, 4, 6, 7, 8, comma. They are all numbers, so I'm not keeping them inside the double apostrophe. So I'm going to close that, right? Go to the next, go to the next row, and the next row has 3, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, 1. That is 3, 2, 2, 4, 5, 6, and 1. And 1, right? I'm going to close it, right, and say comma. Go to the next one, right? The next one is 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 2, 1, right? So I open the bracket. I have 4, 2, 4, 5, 6, 2. I hope I still say it correctly. Then 1 as well, right? All right, Mr. Binga, let me hear you. I'm with you, sir.
Okay. I noticed on number 2, on number 1,
Yes.
3, and 4, there's space between them, but on number 2, there's no space before the second comma.
Before the second comma, there should be space.
Yes, that where your cursor is. I don't know. Number 2. Number 2. After the comma. Yes, okay. That line. After the comma. Yes.
I've put it there, but then it doesn't mean, right? You may put it, you may not put it. You understand?
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I'm done with the fourth. With the first row, so I'm going to put the fifth row as well and say, what do we have on the fifth row? 5, 3, 4, 7, 6, 4, then 15. 5, 3, 4, 7, 6, 4. I have 5, 3, 4, 7, 6, 4, right? And I have 15, right? So these are all the 5 rows, right? That order, that new table has, right? And I'm going to close that bracket again. There's nothing to close again, so I'm going to end the statement with this double apostrophe and execute, right? And it has executed. So if I want to see it now, I can go back to say select all from orders, right? And execute it. And you can see that I have created a new table. Now, which means that all together we have created 3 tables under amplified database. The one we started with, the person's table and the other table that I told you to create. So 3 tables are under that, they are in that database. You can create as many tables as possible. If you want to see the tables we have created, you can come here, right? Click and you can see table here. Click the table and you see, right? It is not reflecting here. The ones we just created, they are not reflecting it. So if I come here to refresh with this button, if I refresh with this button like this, right, I should have them. You can see I have persons, I have orders, and I have student info. So these are the tables we have under the amplified database. That is how to create tables. We have just completed that process, how to create tables. Now, understanding how that works, right? Now we'll be saying select all. It is not a case that it will always be select all, right? For example, now if I only want to see, you can see that for example, from this person's table, the person's table has the columns are PIG, last name, first name, address, and city. So if I only want to see the first name and the city, right, of the people there, I can come here to say select first name. I only need to ensure that I spell it rightly the way it is spelled. First name, comma, city. You understand? Then from comma, from what's the table that I'm picking this particular one from? That's person. So from persons, right? If I say this and I end the statement and I execute it, you can see now it gives me only the first name and the city. Can you see that? It gives me only the first name and the city. What else can we do again? If I want to, we have a table we created, the first one that we called and then we call student info, right? So if I just want to see the full name, the gender of that name, and the phone number, right? So that's what I want to call out, right? Let's say we have a data set and then they say, from that table, give me the name, the gender, and then the phone number of the people in that table. So I don't need to say select all to bring all of them out. So I'm just going to say select what I want to retrieve. I'll just mention the exact that I want to retrieve. So I want to retrieve the full name, right? Select full name. I only need to make sure that they are spelled, the way the way they are spelled appropriately. Full name, gender, right? And then phone, I think it's written as phone number, right? From, you must always reference it to the table, right? What's the name of the table? From persons. You understand? No, this is not from person. This is from student info, right? So the table name is student info, right? From student underscore info, right? I'll just put the semicolon, but then I want to be sure that the full name is spelled the way we spelled it there, right? To be sure, I can simply come here, check this student info, and see the columns that are there, right? Columns is there, so it is full name. You can see it is full underscore name. So if I run it, if I executed it that way, it will be wrong. So it is like this. So I can quickly check and say, okay, this is how it is. If I execute this, you can see now it only gives me the full name, the gender, and the phone number from that table called student info. Do you understand it? And so what it means is that it is not in all cases that we say select all. We can only select all if we actually want to retrieve everything in that table. I hope you understand everything we have done so far. The response to
Yes,
all right.
Yes,
Now,
yes,
yes,
yes.
sir. Thank you, sir. Now let's move a bit further, right? Now let's see everything under that. Let's see everything under that person's table, right? Let's do select all from persons, right? Persons. Now, this time around, right? I only want to retrieve information about um um, 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 I only want to see the people that live in the city called Sandnes. Are we together? I only want to see the information about the people that live in a city called Sandnes. So which means that I don't want to see all of this information. I only want to see if it's the only people that live in Sandnes that I want to see. If you can relate this very well to our Excel class, you will understand that what I want to do here is just that I want to filter out only the people in the city Sandnes. Do you remember filter in Excel? I hope I can get a response, right? So that I can move on.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. So this is exactly what we want to do. So in SQL, what do we use instead of filter? If it is Excel now, we'll just do Ctrl+Shift+L, and it will bring those filter arrow, right? We'll click it. This remember, we'll click it and we'll filter what we want to filter. Then this city Stavanger will go away. Then we'll be left with what we need. But in the case of SQL, how do we filter? So maybe in your jotter write the clause that we use to filter in SQL is called the where clause. Let me put it as a comment. Where clause. The where clause is used to filter in SQL. So we use the where clause to filter, right? And you may want to put it in your notes, right? That's how it's going. And that's why you want to put it. Use the where clause is used to filter the table, right? And then when you use it, we always use when you use it, of course, we are going to see how we use it. Now we only use the quote. I mean the quote, the double quote or a single quote is used around it. Now let's say now, from what I said, we want to filter out only the people in the city, right? How do I, from this table, how do I do that? It's simple. I'm just going to say select. Let's see you select all from where are we selecting it from? Select all from person. That's the person's table, right? Now where, are we there? Where city, right? Where city is equals to sadness. That is, I only want to see the persons, the information of the persons that live in sadness. I'm going to select all from persons where their city, that is the people that their city is sadness. And don't forget the way the process. I'm going to keep this inside the double apostrophe, right? And I'm going to end my statement. If I run this now, you will see that it will only give me the people in sadness. And how did I get that? I use the where clause. Can you see now? It is now giving me the people in sadness. Can you see? It's now giving me the people in sadness. Where city equals sadness. Right? That is how to filter information in SQL. We use the where clause to filter information. Right? Now, with this understanding now, this is going to bring us to discussing something we call, okay, before we even move further, let's do other things with the where clause. Now let's say I want to see let's use the student info table that we created, right? I mean, that is our name, so we are familiar with it. So I want to see only the students that are male, that are female, from that data, from that one that we created, right? I want to see the students that are female, right? Number one is that you have ensured that we are on this database amplified. So to write the query, I'm going to say select all. So I don't want to see all. I only want to see the full name and the student ID of the student that is a female. Please note, I'm not saying all now. I want to see the student ID and the full name of the students that are female in the student info table. So I'm going to say I want to see the student ID. So I'm going to say select student ID. I only ensure that it is spelled the way I spell it well, right? So I have student ID. So student ID is spelled like this: student ID, comma, then full name. Full name is spelled like this, right? This is what I want to get. Full name from where? From what table? The table is not persons this time around. The table is student info table. So I'm going to write student, yeah, student info, right? You understand? Now that's the query, but there is a way. The question wants us to filter it. It said only the ones that are female, right? So what's the column that lists the gender? The column name is gender. So I'm going to say where.
So where gender.
Yeah, thank you.
Where
gender equals to female. So we know how we write the female. We don't write the female in full. If you write female in full, there will be issue because the way it is. You understand how we write it. So it's going to be
gender.
I'm going to use the quote and that and that. You understand? So it's as simple as that. And I'm going to end my statement. If you read all of this before I execute, if you read all of this, you will see that even reading it, you will see that it feels like you are speaking the normal English. You understand? So that's why I said that SQL is just English. It's not a language that should be difficult, so to say. Some other languages are not like that. Python is not totally like that, even though Python is also very simple. In fact, Python feels like the most, the simplest, to me, the simplest of all other, programming language. I find it more simpler than JavaScript. I find it simpler than PHP, than HTML and all of that. You understand? But then SQL is quite very direct. It's just English. So if you want to speak this in English, you will see that it aligns in English. Select student ID, full name. You select student ID, of course. If you are writing those things also, you put comma, punctuations. Student ID, comma, full name. From where are you selecting it from? From the table, the name of the table you are selecting it from. You understand? And now you want to filter. So where the gender is equal to that, and let's run it. And you can see that it's telling us that the only person is Damilola Adeyeye. You understand? So if I need to put the gender also, that it should put the gender that is a female. If I want to put it on the list, I'll just come here and say, now, comma, you understand? I can now put gender. You understand? From that, just that. And if I execute it, it's going to come here with the gender. I hope you understand SQL. I hope you understand
Yes,
it.
sir.
All right, that's fine. So we are good to go, right?
Yes,
All
very
right.
well, very well.
All right.
Yes.
All right. So I believe if you check the video again and then try to resonate with it, it is easier. You find SQL very easy. Just my work is just to show us some keywords. By the time you understand the process and you know the keyword, you'll be able to flow easily with it. Right? SQL, I find it to be the simplest language to write. Now look at it now. The fact that I have used equals to here, we now shift into discuss something we call operators in SQL. Operators in SQL. So there are many operators in SQL. And the first one that you are seeing now is the equals to operator. Let me list them as a comment here. We have this operator called we have the equals to, right? And that is this. Right? All right. Equals to. This is an operator in SQL. We have another one. We have not equals to. Not equals to. There's another operator called not equals to. You understand? And of course, we talked about this in SQL. How do you write not equals to? Right? We talked about this in Excel. Not equals to is written. Did we talk about this? I can't remember. Not equals to is written as, look at this sign. This is not equals to in SQL. This is not equals to. Exclamation and equals to. There is no way to write the not equals to as it is in mathematics, that you write equals to and strike it. You understand? There's no way to write it. So in SQL, this is the way we find. This is a way we decide to write it, right? Or there's another one, right? Or you write it this way. Write it this way. This also means not equals to. You understand? So we have another operator. The greater than, already you know how the greater than looks like. Greater than is this. That's greater than. We also have less than, right? This is less than. We know this before. We have greater than or equals to. Greater than or equals to. And that is written as this, greater than or equals to. You can see we talked about this in our Excel class. We also have less than or equals to the same way. Less than or equals to, right? And that is less than or equals to, right? These are the operators, right, that we have in SQL. We have other ones, right? We have the between operator. I'm just going to list the other ones. They are not with signs. We have between operators, and we're going to use them very well. Yes, we have the between operator. All right. We have the like operator. We have the like operator, right? We have another one called in operator. And then, yes, these are the operators that we have. And we have the and. We have and operator. We have and operator. And we have we have the or operator. Yeah. Yes. So all of these are the operators we have in SQL, right? You can see them, right? This you can jot this in your notes, right? You can jot this somewhere in your notes. Let me take this away. Yes, these are the operators we have in SQL. I think there are more, but yes, there are actually more. But then as the need be, we mentioned them. Now, yes. So what else should we do? Because I want to use this operator, I want to use this operator as an example in one or two examples, and the data set we have at the moment is not sufficient to explore it, right? So we are going to import. We are going to see another thing here. That is how to import. You know what we have been doing is to create database, right? And I explained that you can't actually create data. You can't create table of that long row that we actually want to use, but we can we can we can import database from other systems. Maybe from a particular database, they have exported the information in the database, right? They can send it to us, we save it on the phone, then we import it. So let's learn how to import database into MySQL. How to import databases into MySQL, right? Now, if you check the files that I sent to us, there is a particular database file called Awesome Chocolate. Do you remember that I shared with us? Maybe I should share with us again in the group so that we can pick it from there. So I'm going to share a file with us. If you still have it, check the folder that I said we should create for this class. You will see Awesome Chocolate. That data is an SQL. That file is an SQL file, right? So you can note it where you put it because we're going to use it now, right? But if you don't have it, let me please share with us in this class. I'm trying to share now, right? And then Awesome Chocolate, right? Awesome Chocolate. Please confirm if you can see Awesome Chocolate. Confirm if you can see Awesome Chocolate. Mr. Godwin, I'm just seeing the image you shared, and then sincerely, I'm not also seeing the schema and everything. Okay, maybe we may need to look at it again, right? And I know this is going to disturb you from actually participating in the class. Wow. All right. Sorry for that. All right. All right. 3 people are saying it. Please download it. Please let me know if you have downloaded that file and you have saved it somewhere on your system. Just give me a signal, maybe an emoji on this on our Microsoft Teams platform. Have we? Are we there? Should I go ahead? All right. I assume that we all have saved that file and we have it on our system.
Yes,
File
sir.
is no
All right. Thank you. All right. Thank you. Somebody said it's not
opening on
opening.
my
No, it can't open. You can't
no
open on the system
opening.
because it's an SQL file, right? But just download it and save it somewhere. We are going to import it into SQL, right? So we should have it on our SQL. Do you get that? You cannot open it on system because it is not Word, it is not PDF, it is not all those, it's not Excel. You understand? So you can't open it. All right. It's the file name is SQL. It's an SQL file. Now, to import a database, of course, that database will be sent to you somewhere, maybe on it. They want you to work on that database, right? It contains so many tables, information about so many things, right? But then they want you to query that database, right? But they don't want to connect you to that particular database. So they have extracted the tables they want you to work on. They have extracted it out and send it so that you can import it into your own database and query. So how do you import database into MySQL? To do that, look at these tabs here. Come to server tab. Please, at this point, I want everyone to do it as I'm doing it, right? Because I already have it, so I will not complete the process. I'll just show up. So I have awesome chocolate on my system already. Awesome chocolate is somewhere here. Let me just show us. This is awesome chocolate, and that's what we want to do, right? So to bring it down, come to the server tab, right? On the server tab, you will see this button called data import. You will see data import. Select data import. It will bring you to this page. On this page, it's called local instance MySQL 80 data import. On this page, you will see two buttons. We have import from disk and we have import progress, right? Stay on the import from disk. Stay there and come down. You will see that an option is checked, it's selected. The option is import from dump project folder. That is not the options we want to select. We don't need that option. So you will come to import from self-contained file. Import from self-contained file, and that is this, right? Import from self-contained file. And after you have selected that, just come straight to that place where you have import from self-contained file. At the end of it, there is that option. There's a menu, menu button there, or option button, right? Just click that option. Once you click it, it will take you to your computer, to your system, and you can go to the folder where you save the awesome chocolate, the file you want to import. Go and pick it. So let's say it is this, for example. Okay, let me go to where my own is, even though I already have it. Let's say here, this, and it's here. So I will pick it, right? Pick your own. I'm not going to pick my own because I have it already. So please pick it and say open. Select it and say open, or you double click on it, right? After you have clicked open, right? After you have clicked open, then come to, if you have clicked open, it will return you to this place. But then the file would have been selected and you will see it on this part. You will see the part here, right? Then after you have done that, you will come to import progress, right? Import progress. So click import progress. Now, import progress will show you how the importation is done, right? How it is imported, rather, right? So on this import progress, come down here and you will see start import. Start import. So you click the start import. Once you click the start import, it will load as if when you're installing how it loads, right? So it will load, and after it has loaded, that is the end. Please let me know if you have done that.
Yes, sir.
Fine. So come back to this tab, right? The tab where if you look at the top here, you will see so many query tabs, right? This is one that we just created where we are importing. So you select any of the query tabs that you are working on. There's another person, if you have done that, please give us signal. We have one person.
Done, sir, done.
Well, all right, thank you very much. So we can continue. We have two persons. All right. Now that you have imported awesome chocolate, we are expected to see awesome chocolate listed here. If your own is not listed here, right, just look for this schema. You will see this refresh button. Click the refresh button. Click it like that, right? Once you click it, please confirm to me if you now have awesome chocolate on that list. Please confirm.
Yes. Wait.
Pardon? Do you have
Yes,
it?
sir. It's there now. After refreshing
All
it,
right,
it's there.
that's fine. After refreshing, thank you very much. So it's very important that you refresh. Now, we have awesome chocolate, but it's possible that the active database is still amplified. But this time I want to work on the awesome chocolate database, right? So you know how to make it active, right? I shouldn't tell you that. Please make it active and let me know if it is in bold text, if it is active. If I have a response from one person, I'll be
Yes.
good to go. All right. Thank you very much. So you know what to do is just to double click it or come here to say use awesome chocolate. Just query the database and say use awesome chocolate, right? And like that. All right, and you run the query and it will be fine. All right. So we now have awesome chocolate, but let's see what is in awesome chocolate. You can come and check the table. We can see that awesome chocolate, right, has tables, and in that table it has 4 tables. Can we see? We have the geo table, we have the people's table, we have the product table, sales table. It has four tables, right? And then let's see if you want to see what is in each of the table. You know how to select it now. So let's see everything. Let's see how each of the table looks like. So the first table is the geo table. So I can come here to say select all from geo, right? Now I'll make sure that I am on awesome chocolate. If I am not, it will not run. Let me even run it. You can see I'm still on amplified. So if I run this to give me an error and say table amplified geo does not exist, so I'm not supposed to be on that amplified. So I'll just double click on awesome chocolate. Right. If I run it now, I should not have any issue. You can see now. So this is what I have in the geo table of the awesome chocolate database. Right. If I scroll down, if I want to see what is on the people's table, I can as well come and say select all from people, right, and execute. This is what we have on the people's table. Let's even look at that geo table again and understand it, right? The geo table, it has geo ID. You can see that because the name of the table is geo, it's supposed to show some locations, right? So we have the first column to be geo ID. Remember that I explained when I was introducing SQL to us, when I was talking about the constraints, right? That we always have a column that will discuss the ID of that table. If it's a sales table, we'll most likely have sales ID. If it's an employee table, we have employee ID. And you can see that this one that is a geo table, we have geo ID because they have functions that they are going to do. Especially now that we have 4 tables in one database, right? A time will come in this class that we will need to join 2 or more tables together, right? And in some of these things that we'll use to join them together, we'll get there. If not in this particular class, we'll get there in the run of this program, right? So we have the geo table. We have the geo table that has the geo ID, that is the locations, and these are the geographical locations in this data set that we want to discuss. We have India, US, and the region they belong to. The region is just like saying the continent, right? India is in Atlantic Pacific. That's what APAC means, right? Atlantic Pacific. We have USA in America. We have Canada also in America. We have New Zealand in America. We have Australia in America. Sorry, we have New Zealand in Atlanta Pacific. We have Australia in Atlanta Pacific, and we have UK in Europe. Wonder there's no Africa in this selection. Wow. Okay, thank you. All right, so let's see the people's table. If I do select all from people, and we can see that it's actually a sales data. So we have the sales persons, right? The salesperson, and the salesperson also have a salesperson ID. You can see now because it's a salesperson table, we also have salesperson ID, right? So this guy var funny, right? He has a salesperson ID 01, is SP01. That's his SP ID. And they have team. It belongs to a team called Yomi, right? And there's a location. The location of this guy is called Hyderabad, right? I think the way it is, the data set is arranged, right? They are salespersons, right, for a particular organization, and those salespersons they are grouped into different teams. I think we have 3 teams in all. We have some that belong to the Yomi's team. We have other persons that belong to the Delish team. We have other persons that belong to the Juicy team, right? And it's like we also have blank team, people that do not belong to anything, right? They also have several locations, right? There's a these guys, some guys are in Hyderabad, you know, a place called Hyderabad. Maybe that's where the office is, right? Maybe that's the location of the office. There are also some other area. Some other guys are in Wellington. You can see we have Wellington. And if you scroll down, some other person are in Seattle, right? Seattle should be in America, right? Seattle should be in US, right? We have some other persons in Paris, and that should be in Paris is in France, that's UK, right? And that is Europe, right? So you can see their location. So that is how the people's table looks like. Let's see the product now. The product they are selling. So we also have the product table that tells us about, that gives the information about the product they are selling. So select all from products. Product is spelled products. It's product, so we need to be very careful of the spelling, right? That is why we need to come and check the table, in the database well, to be sure of what we want to query, right? And I'm going to execute it. You can see that because it's a product table, we have PID. PID means product ID, right? So we have the product they are selling. Milk bar, almond choco, these are all the products. And those products belong to several categories, right? Some belong to the bars, bites, and this one you can chew them, right? Some are others. I know there are several other categories. Let's look down. Okay, I think those are the categories that are there, right? So you can see also that the size, the size of the product. This one is large, and the cost per box, right? The cost is there at the same time. So this is how the product that was sold. That's how it looks like. And finally, let's also see the last select all from sales. So we have a sales table from sales. Select all from sales, and we have that. Now this is sales table, right? This is sales table. Now on the sales table, we can see that we have the salesperson ID, we have the geo ID, we have the PID, right? Now, if you remember when I was explaining constraints, when I mentioned unique ID, not null, and the foreign keys or foreign unique keys, foreign key and primary key. If you remember all those explanations that I gave, right? I said that every table will always have its own unique ID. That is a number or an ID that is unique to that row, that no two person can have it. And I said that phone number is an example of a unique ID, right? Your name should be your unique ID. But in so many cases, we have found out that name is not a good unique ID because two people can answer the same name. In fact, two people can answer the same name and the same surname. In fact, two people can answer the same name, middle name, and surname. So we always have what will be a unique ID. And that is why we have this SPID, salesperson ID. You can see that once the first one is 01, 02, 03, and like that, no two person can share, the same salesperson ID. And it's because this table is called sales table. You understand? Now, in the geo table also, we have this geo ID on the geo table. So on the geo table, geo ID I mentioned primary key, right? It's a unique key and a primary key. So remember I said that a primary key is a unique key that is not null. A unique key that is not null is a primary key. You understand? But on this table, the primary key is not GeoID, it's not PID, because it is not this table is not the owner of this. I mean, because these guys, these geo people are not the owner of this table. The owner of this table is salesperson. So that's why salesperson is a primary key here. But geo ID and PID, from the explanation, we can recall to the explanation, geo ID and PID, they are foreign keys. They are foreign key. We can have two or more foreign keys on a table, but we can only have one primary key on a table. We can only have one primary key on a table, or we can have multiple foreign keys on a table. You understand? So this is a salesperson's table, right? A sales table. So this salesperson, the SPID is the primary key. Why these other IDs? They are the foreign keys. Why? Fine. So the sales date is also captured here, and you can see the data type. The data type is date and time all together. It's not date. It is date and time. Can you see? It has the date and it has time, right? And the cost of product that the cost of sales made, right? You can see there the customer, how many customers that they sold to, the number of customers is also here, and the number of boxes that were sold. You understand? The number of boxes that were sold is also here, so we can see how the table looks like. Now, we brought in this awesome chocolate because we want to use this table, this database to explain some of these constraints. You know, some of these operators that we have listed here. Now, let's say now we have a task. I mean, in that.
Ask the question, please.
Yes. All right, please ask the question.
Okay. Sorry, I noticed that when you open the people table.
Yes.
The people table, when we're opening those tables, there was no, I think, was it the names that they used as the ID? Because there was no other thing in front of the names. There was nothing like ID in front of the names for the people. Salesperson.
Yes.
I'm wondering maybe it's their names. Yes.
Oh, okay. This is the primary. This is the primary key. This is the ID. You understand? So this is salesperson ID. But let me go to the last one. This salesperson. Let's see the sales ID. On this one, okay, sales does not have ID. Can you see that? Sales does not have ID, right? Because SPID here is salesperson. Wait, let me balance this. This is people. Okay. Salesperson. So this is the ID here, right? So let's balance this thing together. This is the salesperson ID here for salesperson table, and that is the people table, right? For product table, we have this. This PID is the product ID. So that's for this product. But the sales does not have ID. There's no sales ID. So please note that there's no sales ID because SPID is actually for these people. That's salesperson ID. It's for these salespersons because that's the people's table. I hope you understand that.
So is it possible that there will be a table that does not have an ID like that salesperson? That means there might be some tables that do not have ID.
Yes, the essence of the ID I have explained is just to make an identity. Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
The effect of the table I've explained, right? I've explained is just to make a unique identity. You understand? To make a unique identity. So if in the course of the analysis or of our task, the task we will need to do, if we will not need it, so there's no point having it. But then if we need it, it means that this particular table, which is a sales table that doesn't have sales ID, would need to come and alter this table and create a new column called sales ID. Maybe we'll call it SID. You understand? And give each row a sales ID. Do you understand it?
Okay, yes, I understand it. Thank you.
Right. So which means that I've just said something now which will later come to do. I hope we'll get there today. That is, it means that we can alter table. That we'll use something we call alter statement. You know, you can see that we can see all the columns here. So maybe later we'll find out that there's the column that we need here. We can come and add our own column. You know, we'll come to that later, right? We'll come to how to alter table, right? Please pardon me. Let me put off my camera. All right. So let's go ahead. All right. So now we have a task, right? Let's say from this table that we have, right? We want to see let me pick it from this. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So I want to see the product. I want to see the geo ID, right? And the people ID, right? Of the geo ID, not the task code. Let me write it on the screen so that we see it. Retrieve the geo ID, comma, people ID, comma, and the amount of product sorry, let's put it as retrieve the geo ID, people ID, and the boxes right, whose amount, that is the cost, right, whose amount is greater than 5,000. You understand? So we want to see, look at the amount column here, but we want to see only the amount that is greater than 5,000. If you want to relate it to Excel, what are we asked to do from this table? If you want to relate it to Excel, what are we asked to do? Can somebody pick it?
We'll filter.
Yes, that is filter. You understand? So it just means that we want to filter the amount, whose amount, sorry, I omitted that, whose amount is greater than 5,000. So we only want to filter this amount, the amount column, and we want to filter it from 5,000 upward, right? So how do we write that query? I'm going to say I want to select already. I know what I want to select. I'm not selecting all. So I want to see the GUID and the PID, the boxes, right? And most likely maybe the amount of as well. I want it to show me the amount. So I'm going to say select GUID, comma, GUID, comma, PID, comma, let me put amount also.
Where,
Amount, yeah, from what table? Yes, from what table first? Because we have to state where we are picking it from. So from what table? I'm picking it from sales table. Yes, from sales. Select
from
GUID, PID. Sorry, after amount, I don't need to put comma, right? You know, in English, I don't need to put comma now. GUID, comma, PID, comma, amount from sales. Then where now I want to filter. Where amount is it greater than, right?
Greater than, yes.
Is greater than 5,000. And because the 5,000 is a number, I don't need to put it inside the double apostrophe, right? All right, now that's I don't need to put it inside the double apostrophe, and that is my query. That's how to query the database to bring it up for me, right? And if I run it, let's see what I will have. You can see I have GOID, I have PID, I also have amount. You understand? And I have, if you look at all the lists, none of it is less than 5,000. None of it is less than 5,000. You can see, none of it. If you check it down, that is how the operators work. We are actually focusing on the operator. We are actually focusing on the operator. All right. Let me ask you a question.
I noticed something. I noticed something under. You wrote sales 28.
Right.
Is it the number of what we filtered that is 28?
No,
yes,
the
that's
number
sales 28.
is this particular one. No.
Yes.
It's only saying how many times I've called out a table.
Oh, okay.
Are you there?
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
How many times I've called out a table? Yes. All right.
Okay.
Okay. I have a task force, right? Now, from this same table, right? I want to see. Okay, let me make it simple for now. How would you retrieve? Let me write it out. Sorry. Okay. Retrieve. I'm going to use the comment, the single comment. Retrieve the SPID, right, comma, sales date, comma, and the amount of and the amount of products sold. How do I put it? Sales date and customer. Let's put customer and customer with amount between 2,000 and 4,000. Yes. How would you write this? How would you write these statements? How would you query the database to give you this information? Are we trying it? Just try something out. Please let me know if anybody is trying it. We're trying something. Are we trying anything? Let's move ourselves. All right. Are we there? Has anybody written anything? Please show us.
Yes, sir.
All right, please share your screen. Let's see.
Correctly.
Just share with us.
I can't share my screen. I'm using my phone to join the class.
Oh, all right.
Something out. I did something.
We just
And
go and
went
read. Voila.
yes, sir.
Okay, tell us verbally what you the query. Let's see your query.
I did select.
Select
I did select SPI, comma,
SPID, comma,
yes, sales date.
sales date. Of course, the sales date we need to be sure how it is written, right? So let me check here and see how it is written. Sales date is written like this, okay?
Yes.
Sales date. So it's sales date. Sales date. What else?
Comma, then amount
Amount. Okay.
1,000 from sales.
Okay. Amount from sales. I'm with you.
Yes, sir. I said maybe I'm wrong though. I did
This is
amount
all you wrote.
between 2,000 and 4,000 from
Between, so that would be the problem. That would be the issue, rather, right? But obviously, we know that what we want to do is to filter, right? And when you're filtering, the where clause is important to filter, right? So before you say
Can I make an attempt on it?
All right, sir. Oh yeah, let me hear you.
Can I make an attempt on it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if I'm going to write it,
Yeah.
okay, from where you are now, from sales,
So start from
where,
the beginning.
okay, from the beginning,
Yes.
select SPID,
SPID.
comma, sales data,
Sales date.
select SPID, sales date, sales date,
comma, amount, fine. Customer, where is customer? Customer is supposed to be there.
No, I didn't say customer, I said sales date.
Yeah, customer is supposed to be there.
Amount.
Look at the question. The question also wants to highlight customer. Answer the question.
Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead.
Then I won't put amount in that place actually, because that's what we are really looking at. Yes, right. I might not put amount in that place. Customer.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
From sales. From sales. Where amount.
Like where
from sales. Where amount. Where amount, comma, is between 2,000 and 4,000.
And 4,000. Right, and that is correct.
Then semicolon.
You can see that
then execute.
We have not actually touched and clause, but because of the understanding of English, you can reason that when you say between, then if you measure the first one, and should follow because it's purely English we are speaking. Do you understand? So this is it. Let's execute it and see what we have. Actually, it's giving us an error. Let's see what the error is. Customer. So we didn't. It say unknown column customer in the field. So maybe we didn't spell customer well. So customer should be customer. Can you see? So we didn't spell it well. So customer. So let's do that. Let's put the S and let's run again, right? Let's execute it again, and we have it. You understand? So now you see that when we execute it, it didn't put amount because you didn't put amount as part of the columns you wanted to show. You can see that you said select SPID, sales date, customers. So that's why it has filtered it, but it didn't include amount. But ideally, if it to be the one, I will include amount so that I can also decide the amount and justify that it is between 2,000 and 5,000. You understand? So I'll come there. If I run it again now, if I execute it again, right, you can see now I have it. I have the amount column and it's showing between 2,000 and I think this is right between 2,000 and 5,000 and 4,000.
Okay, thanks.
Do you understand
Thanks
it?
so much.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So it's pretty something you can, by the time you understand one or two things, you can begin to navigate around what can be, what can be, what can be. Right. I hope you understand. Hello, class.
Yes, sir. We understand, sir.
Yes,
That's
yes,
fine.
yes.
sir.
All right.
Hello.
Very well understood.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir. I
Yes,
want to
sir.
ask: is it based on your explanation? Is it totally English, or can you sign like greater than or less than in the SQL?
So
Does it allow that?
Yeah, it allows. So earlier we have talked about the operators, right? SQL operators, right? And you can see that we mentioned greater than is part of the operator, less than is part of the operator. So we can use it. But the way the question is, right? The way the question is, the question already tells us that he wants us to show between 2,000 and 4,000. There is no way we would have used greater than A. You understand? Assuming he says that he wants to see only the people that are less than, only the amount that is less than 4,000. It is not a range something now. This is a range. So if it were to be show us the amount that is less than 4,000, we can easily come here to say this. I will just change this to where amount is less than or maybe less than or equals to you understand 4,000. So we can use those ones here depending on how the task at hand that we want to do. So if I execute this, it's just going to give me only when the amount is less than or equals to 4,000. So if I scroll down, I will not see anything greater than 4,000.
Sorry, sir. Another question on that place, on that same place. The way it asks, if we use.
Mr. Binga. Sorry, sir, Pastor.
Okay.
Sorry, Mr. Binga. Pastor, do I answer the question, sir? I can't hear Pastor again. All right, Mr. Binga, let me hear you.
Yeah, from what Pastor said now,
yes, sir.
I'm trying to wonder if we use it's a range between 2,000 and 4,000. So if we say greater than or equal to 2,000 and less than or equal to 4,000, will it still work?
Okay.
Greater than or equal to 2,000 and less than or equal to 4,000.
Yes, it will work. Where amount is greater than, it will work. Greater than or equal to 2,000 and
less than or equal to 4,000.
And less than or equal
to 4,000.
No, this will not work. So let's say and where amount is this and amount is that. This one can work.
Okay.
Can you see?
Okay.
This can work.
Okay.
You understand? This should work. So let's run it. Let's execute this. Yes, I have it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So I think with this we are able to explore. We are able to explore the filter option, the filter clause, right? And then We will do more by the time. I mean, we still have enough time in the class, right? We'll still do more where we'll make it of this filter. But then this is how we filter in SQL. Now the next thing that I'm going to talk about is the other thing that looks like filter. Remember in Excel, sort and filter are together, right? So in SQL, how do we sort? We've seen that we use the where clause to filter. But what's the clause we use to sort in SQL? The sort is called order by, right? Order by. So let me write it as a statement. So the order by clause is used to sort result sets. Order by clause is used to sort result sets. Right. And let's see how it works. From the word order, sorting means we define sorting. We define sorting in what do you call it, in our Excel class, right? We said sorting is just to arrange the data set in whether descending order or ascending order. That's sorting, right? So sorting is basically about arranging. So, and if you see the keyword also, the keyword is order by. So it means that we actually want to design it to be in a particular order, right? So we say the order by keyword is used to sort the result set, right? And then the result set is used to sort the result set by a specific column. That is, you mention the column that you want to use to sort it. You understand? And of course, anytime the order by clause is used, right? Anytime the order by clause is used, two keywords must follow just to balance the statement. And the keyword is either you are putting ascending or descending. Let me put it in the comment for us. The order by keyword or statement and the order by clause, or let me use keyword, or the order by keyword, the order by keyword is followed, I hope my grammar is correct, is followed by descending, let me put it this way, descending, right? Descending as in descending is DESC. So anywhere you see this word DESC in SQL, it means descending, right? It's followed by descending or ascending, right? Ascending as in ASC. So this is ascending and that is descending, right? Now let's see now. Let's see another table. Let's use another table. We have let's see how people's table looks like, right? People's table. Now, this is the salesperson. Let's say I want to see all these columns, all this information under this people's table, right? But I want to arrange it in alphabetical order, right? From Z to A. That is descending. That should be descending, right? That should be descending from Z to A. That is, you see that number one, I must first of all decide what column do I want to use. What column do I want to use to arrange it, to sort it, right? From how I've explained it, you will see that it is the salesperson column that I want to use to sort it, right? I could also use the location to sort it. I could also use the team to sort it, right? So to write the query now, let's see how the query will come. it will come this way. I'll say select. I want to see everything there, so I'll say select all from sales, right? Select all from sales, then order by, because it's something I want to do. Order by, you understand? So what do I want to use to sort it? I'll say order by sales person. I will be careful of my spelling. Order by sales person, right? And how do I want to order it? Is it ascending or descending? I'll say order by salesperson descending. And I told you that descending is written with that word. Of course, SQL is not case sensitive. So if I had used the small letter, the small case, no issue, right? And this is, if I run this now, if I execute this now, right? Why is it giving me this error at first? Select all from sales, right? Order by salesperson. Is that salesperson? Is the spelling correct? Say order. Okay, it's from people. Sorry, it's from people, not sales. From people's table, right? Let me confirm that. This is people. Yes, salesperson. Salesperson. Select all from people, right? Select all from people. So I'm on people's table. Order by, okay, yes. All right. All right. Select all from people. Order by salesperson. Descending. So I want to sort it in descending order. So if I execute this, I should have it this way. You can see I still have the same table, but you understand, I have sorted it in from the top, you know, to from the Z down to A, and that is how it has been arranged. So it will come. You can see that the alphabet is reducing. We have Z, we have W, we have V, we have R, and like that until we get to A. You understand? So that is the keyword that we use to. That's the keyword that we use to sort in SQL, right? Now, if I want to do it in ascending order, in SQL, if you didn't put anything, right, it didn't specify if it should be descending or ascending. You just do it that way. By default, SQL take that to be ascending, right? SQL take that to be ascending. So if I execute this now, I say select all from people, order by salesperson. I didn't say that whether descending or ascending. So SQL will by default take that to be ascending. So if I run it, if I execute it, you see that it will give me in ascending. But at the same time, if I actually want to show it, I can still come back to say ascending. This stands for ascending, right? And if I execute it, it is still the same thing that I will still get. All right. So I hope you understand that particular keyword, the keyword ascending, right? Of course, we use, all these keywords can be used together in one statement depending on what you are trying to retrieve, right? Depending on the data you are trying to retrieve from the large database, right? The most important thing is that you understand the database you are picking it, you want to select, you want to query, you understand the table in that database that you want to query, and you understand, you know the names, how the rows are spelled. And to note that, if it is a database that you are not familiar with, you may not have the right spelling in your head. That's why it's always important to use this bar, this schema pane to see, how things are arranged. All right, so that is how to use how to sort in 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 SQL, right? That is how to sort in SQL, and the keyword is the order by keyword, and we use the where keyword or the where clause, right, to filter in SQL. All right, so let's move a bit also. Let's leave this part. Let's move a bit. I wish we'll be able to cover a lot more than this. But then let's just run through all the keywords and we'll come back to come and be query more databases later. Now, let's look at a keyword called let's return to
hello,
our
sir.
amplified. Yes,
Hello,
I'm
sir.
with you, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All these keyword in Excel, we discovered that at least if you know some, you can easily get the other ones. But in Excel, it seems as if you have to cram all the keyword. Is that?
In Excel, the
Uh,
functions in Excel,
in,
you need to know the
the
function.
function very easy. If you know one, you can easily pick the next.
Yes,
But for
if you know
SQL,
that.
do you have to cram all the functions or something?
Yes, so the way it is in SQL, right? Number one, that is not that the keywords are not functions. There is SQL function separately. We'll still get there, right? But I understand what you're talking about, sir. So in SQL, you only need to understand those keywords because there's nothing like synonyms in SQL, right? So you need to understand the right word that has been programmed into SQL to understand for the meaning of what you want to get. So there's no two way than to know it in the head, which is safe as cramming it. However, the more we use this thing, for example, now I don't think I need to cram anything, right? Once I just see the question, my head will just go through what I'm supposed to use. It is because I've been running it over time. So that's how it works. So the more I keep on using it, the more I get familiar, right? I already know that order by we do sorting for me. Where clause we do sort filtering for me. I know that there's another keyword called group by that we're still going to get to, and I know that if I want to filter and I have first of all group the data, I cannot use where clause again. There's another clause called having clause. So it's because I've been using all these things over time. And so the more we practice, the more we move towards perfection on all of this in all of these things.
Thank you,
All
sir.
right, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. All right. Now look at this. I want to go back to our amplified database, right? So I've used awesome chocolate to show one or two things. We'll be using both amplified and awesome chocolate together throughout this course, right? And we are going to use both because I have an assignment, not for this class, anyway, maybe in the next class, we would have gotten to the point where you can use the assignment. So I have an assignment in the word database, right? Now, let me come to the amplified database, right? And we have three tables in there already: other, persons, and the student info, right? Now, let's look at the student info. Let's look at the student info again, and I'm going to let's see everything that is there. So let's say select all from student info, right? And I execute. This is all we have in student info. So we have this information. Now, and I realize that we have created this table. We have created this table with all these columns. We are supposed to have another column for date of birth, or age. Let's just call it age. You understand? We are supposed to have another column for age, and we didn't put it. How do we now ensure that we now have a new column called age? Now, mind you, we cannot return back to once you run execute a statement in SQL, the statement has been executed. Once you have the output, the action to say that it is successful, it is actually successful. So I cannot come back to this place where I was to this query that I used to create the table and come and adjust this place and say, let me quickly add a age in it. No, it will not work. It will continue to see what I have executed initially, right? Now, to bring a new column to this place now that is supposed to be called age. It means that I want to alter table. It means that I want to alter the table, right? And then I'm going to use a new statement. I'm going to use a new statement called alter table statement. right? So let me put it here on the comments. We have the alter table statement. We have the alter table statement. Now, of course, from what I've just said, what do we use the alter table statement to do? The alter table statement is used to do three things. Three things, right? It's very important to note the three things, right? The alter table statement is used to add, as in the case of the scenario I'm trying to paint now. I discovered that I want to add a new column. So I will use the alter, I will alter the table to add. So we can alter to add, we can alter to drop. That is, let's say I don't want this department to be there again, right? I don't want to see the department as part of the column. I want to take it away. That is dropping. I want to drop that column. So we can alter to add, we can alter to drop, and we can alter to modify, or the modify by the word modification I mean to rename. I can alter to rename. Let's say this department is not well spelled, and I want to respell it, right? Once I've created from the beginning, I've created a table from the beginning, I cannot go to that query again to go and adjust it. I have to write a new statement, right? To rename it or to alter whatever thing I want to alter. So that is what alter statement is. Alter table statement is used for. Please note, it is alter statement, right? And sorry, note, I've said that the alter statement will do three things. We can alter to add, we can alter to add, we can alter to drop, and we can alter to what I call the last one, to rename
Modify.
or modify.
To modify.
Yes. So let's say from now, what we want to do now is to add age to it, right? So I'm going to say alter, right? Alter table, right? What is the name of the table that I want to alter? Mind you, under that amplified database, I have three tables already: persons, orders, and student info. Oh, yes, thank you. The student info. I'm going to say student info. You can see it's already here because we have created it on it. So alter table student info, right? Now, what do I want to do with the alter? So I want to alter to add. Now I've altered it. The statement will alter it. Now that I've altered it, what kind of alter do I want to do? I want to add. You understand? I want to add a new column name. A new column. And what's the name of the column? I will come here to mention the name of the column. Add age. You understand? This, what I'm doing is alter to add. And now remember that at the beginning of our class, when we're talking about creating table, we said that when you are creating table, I'm trying to scroll back there. Yes, when you are creating the table, when you mention the column, you have to state the data type, the length of the data type, and all other constraints, right? Because we are talking about a new table now, a new column here now that we have not even used before, we have to state the data type of that age, right? And of course, we can use integer, right? Even though we know that age, okay, we can use integer. Yes, age is a number, right? So we say integer. You understand? If you want to put other constraints on it, maybe it's going to be a not null, it's going to be a default, a check, and all of that. You can put all of that, right? So that is how to add a new column. Once I do this, it's good to go, and I'm going to end the statement and execute, right? I have executed, and that has been done. You can see that it's correct. And if I come back to say select all from student table and I execute it, you will see that a new column has been included. Now you notice that the information is not there now. You understand? But at least I have altered the table and put in a new column on that table called age. The next work will now be, how do we put in figure? How do we put in data into the new column that we have created? Remember that when we also, yes, ask the question.
Sorry, if you know the place where the age came in, it came to the last place, to the last edge.
Yes.
If we want to put it maybe after gender, before phone number, or somewhere after age, or if we want to put it somewhere in between.
Yes, so we are still going to get there. So it means that we are going to write a query that will talk about positioning, right? So please, I don't want to bother ourselves there now. We'll get there. You understand? So we'll write a query to now say put it between this and this and this and this and this and that. You understand? So it's very much doable. Do we understand?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
That's fine. So let's go ahead. So so we have created a new table. So I was saying something. So remember that even at the beginning, when we want to create the table, you can only create the table. At the point where you are creating the table, you can't put data into it, values into it. We'll now come and write a new query, a new statement to insert value to it. The same way is what we are doing here now. So we have altered the table to put in the new column. The column has nothing into it. Now, to impute data into the new column we have created, right? Don't forget. Now we are not going to use insert into, because insert into is used when you are newly creating the table. You are newly creating the table freshly. But this time around, the table already exists. And I only updated that table to bring in the age. Now, the keyword that I will now use now to insert values into the updated table is called update statement. Are we there? It's called the update statement. And this is how the update statement, this is how it works, right? Let me quickly make a quick comment on it. We have update statement, right? And then we say the update statement is used to update a record. It's as simple as that, right? So I have altered this table. I have a new column. I need to update this record. That's the record, right? I need to update this particular record. So I'm going to use the update statement, and the syntax is simple. I'm going to say update, right? Update. I'm updating a table, right? So I'm going to call the table name. What's the name of the table? The name of the table is student info. I'm going to say update student info. Now, note when you are using the update just as the which one did I say it must come with the where clause, right? Right. So just know that when you are using the update statement comes with another clause. The clause is called set. The set clause is what will now help us to arrange that data, to arrange it under this particular place, under the null, under this age, so that it doesn't bring the new data under full name or under register date. I want to ensure that the new data I'm bringing is coming under age. So after I say update, the table, I will now say set. You can see now that's the set that comes into it. Set column, the column that I want to update. I'll say set age, right? Age, set age equals to, right? Set age equals to let's say this first person, Aaron Awe, let's say his own age is, for example, let's just say is 30, for example now. So I want to set his own age to be 30. I'll say set age equals to 30. You understand? I'm not done yet, because if there's no way to show that I'm actually talking about Aaron Awe. If I stop it here and run it, it's going to fill everything here with 30. It's going to fit everything under the age with 30. But I want to be specific to say that it is only Aaron Aware that I want to make date, right? So I'll go ahead to now say where full name. Where full, how is the full name spelled? Full underscore name. Where full name equals to, of course, I can use my equals to operator. Where full name equals to Aaron aware. Can you see now? So in this case, you can see that I've rightly specified where you should put the 30. So I've said update student info, that's the table, set age equals to 30, where full name, which is this, where my full name is Aaron aware. If I run this now, I should have, something I need, right? It has run it. You can see update. If I want to see it now, you know how to see it. I'm just going to say I'm working on the student info table. So I'm just going to say select all from student info and let's see it. You can see that it now has the age. Do you understand that part? Do you understand that part?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Now, but then you will now be wondering, because this thing is going to push some other question. I don't know if Damilola is still here. Miss Damilola, are you still in this class? Miss Damilola?
Sir, I'm here.
So many of us follow. All right, thank you. Are you following? Do you understand the class? Do you understand all we've been talking about?
Yes, sir.
I hope you understand. Anyway, all right. Now you wonder if we have 1,000 records, how would we? Is this how we write the statement? Statement in halfway. We'll do for the first one separately. We'll do for the second one separately. No, we can do all of them together, right? We can do all of them together, and if we want to do that, this is how the statement will be. Now, this is how the query will be. Now, I want to set, let's say Adeko Benga, let's add, right? Sorry, a minute. Please, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can.
Yes.
All right. Let's say Adeko Benga is 25. Sorry, I'm just changing my AirPod. The battery is off. All right. So let's say Adeko Benga is 25. Damilola Adeyeye is 32. You understand? And we have Aaron to be 30, right? We now want to fill with all of them in just one statement, right? I'm going to do it this way. I'll say update student info, right? I will set. So now, when this point where I'm setting, right, I'm going to there's something we call making a case, right? Because what I want to do is I want to write so many things at the same time. So I'm going to set a case. I'll say set age, right? Age equals to that column I want to set. I'll say equals to, I'll make it a case. Are you there? I'll make it a case, right? Now, I'll now begin to do what I want to set it for. I'll say when, I'm going to bring a new word called when. When the age, I've said that I'm making the age to be a case. So when that age is, when full name, right? When full name, just follow me. When full name is equals to, Adeko Benga. Don't forget, I have to keep it inside the double apostrophe, right? When full name equals to Benga, right? Set it to, I've said set the age. I've said I'm making the age a case, so set it to be, so we want to make it 25, right? 25 is the number. I don't need to put it into, I don't need to put that into the double apostrophe. Then when full name, full underscore name is equals to Damilola Adeyeye.
I checked the name.
Eh?
Check the name, the name.
Okay,
Full
thank
name.
you. Full name, yeah, I've seen it. Thank you. Is equals to Damilola Adeyeye, right? Adeyeye.
The first one too.
Okay, the first one too. Thank you. All right. All right. Thank you. So when it is Damilola Adeyeye, I want to set that to be, I think we said 32, right? 32. You understand? Then sorry, when, okay, I don't need to put when again. Once I've put when once, that should be fine. Okay, so I've said the two. Then when you make a case, you will always end the case. You know, we are doing for multiple names now. Anytime you make a case, you must always end the case. So I will always end this case. Yes, this is the end of it, but I still seem to be having an issue. So let me quickly look at it. When update student info set age equals to make age a case. Now when full name is Adeko Benga, the spelling is right, set the age to be so age equals to, let me look at this, I'm coming, comma, age equals to okay, is, pardon me, let me quickly
like
check. It looks like what?
The place after Adeko Benga, the comma, where the comma is, it looks like there is a red something there under it before the age.
Sorry, let me quickly, I'm coming. We are 1 minute behind time. This is the last thing we are doing. Sorry, pardon me. Sorry for taking our time. All right. All right, I think it's then I didn't put, all right. So when set this, when full name equals to Benga, then thank you. Then yeah, then age would be 25. Right, that's how it is. All right. When all right. So please still a minute. Let me clean this up before coming back to explain it. When full name equals to this, then 25. When full names equals to, when the full name equals to that, then
Is there any comma after the name?
yeah, sorry, just a minute. I'm still with you, just a minute. All right, so we're going to have update student info, right? Set age, we are setting age, then we are making a case with it. So we'll say when the full name, right? When the full name, okay, when the full name is Ade Ekogbenga, then the age should be 25 because we are setting the age as the case. So we don't need to put age there again, right? Then the next one, when full name is equals to Damilola Adeyeye, right?
The comma, sir. The comma.
Yes, the comma.
The second comma.
When full name equals to Damilola Adeyeye, then the age. I think this comma. Yeah. Thank you. The comma is what is being stricken off. All right. So we have this.
And the equal to.
Set age equals to case when full name is Adeyeko, then 25. This area is sorted out. Then
32 equals to before 32.
Okay, yes, then 32.
It's
Thank you.
equals.
Then 32.
Yeah. So thank you very much. All right. So you can see the slight differences between them. Here in the if you want to write it for many occurrences, we have to make a case, like I explained earlier, right? So we say update student info, set age as the case. You understand? Now we want to mention the case we are setting. So we are saying when the full name is Ade Ekogbenga, then the age to be 25. Right? When the full name is Damilola Adeyeye, then the age to be 32. And each time you make a case, there should be an end. Cases like we are opening a kind of a long statement, right? We are opening a case, right? And we should end that case. And we're going to end it like that before our semicolon. Do you understand that? And then we can now execute, right? If you execute, then we should have everything filled with the information. All right, that has been done. Blah, blah, blah. So if I want to say everything, I'm going to say select all from student info, and then I'm going to run it. All right. Yes, it's quite understandable. Now, this is also to note. It's very important to note this. When updating table, right? Everything you want to do must be done together. You will notice that the first one I did had been altered, right? Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, the
yes,
first one
yes.
I did had been altered, right? So that is simply because when I'm going to do everything, I am supposed to do all of them newly, right? It will not give regard to what I have done before. So that means that if I'm going to do the correct one, I'm going to include what's his name? I'm going to include Aaron's age
Aaron
again.
Awe.
Yes.
Aaron
So
Awe.
when full name is equals to Aaron Awe, right. Then the age is, what did we use then? I think it's 30, right? Then the age is 30. Did I cover it here? No. Yeah, then the age is 30. All right. Then we are going to run it here now. Execute. And then I can come and see everything together. Where is select all from student info. All right. And I run. All right. So that is how to alter a table and update a table. Don't forget, the only thing we have done in altering the table is to alter to add, and we have added a new column, and we have seen how to update that column. We still have alter to
Hello, sir.
delete and alter to rename, right? Any question, but we are going to stop here for now. Any question? Somebody wants to
Okay,
say something?
thank you so much, sir. The first question I want to ask, although I came in late because I'm just coming up quite long, I've been watching and it's a very good one. I really appreciate you, sir. But my
Yeah, welcome.
question is, which means that on this particular database information, we have operated on 119 instructions to be carried out by this SQL.
No.
I don't.
These are lines. They are lines that we have written. It's like lines in the book, right? Exercise with the lines. So these numbers are lines. You understand? So it is not the number of instruction that are wrong. This is if you look down here on the output, right? These are the number of outputs that is expected this looks closely to what to the question you're asking, right? So this shows that we have outputted about 96 query, right? It doesn't mean that all of them are actually correct. Some are wrong along the line, but we have outputted 96 query. But what we have here are just lines, right? That we enter the query on this line. We enter the query on this line and all of that. So that's what that line is talking about here. Did I answer the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right, sir. Any other question? Because we'll be wrapping up the class at this point. All right. It seems we do not have any question, right? So I will share this class with us, but then I want to urge that we go through it. I believe that the class is actually very straightforward, right? Maybe when you go through it again, we'll see, right? We've tried to pick it one after the other, each of the statements that we have actually talked about, right, and their functions, right? And I also wrote them on the query tab, as a comment so that we can easily relate to them, right? I believe if you watch the videos again and again, even if you have joined later, right, if you watch the video again, you will get what we are discussing there. And if we do that and then we still have questions, please kindly chat me on the WhatsApp. I'll respond. Maybe when you're watching it, you quickly identify some questions, please chat me on the WhatsApp. I will identify it and I'll respond to them immediately. I hope we have done something new today, right? This is different from Excel. This is querying the database this time around. So you will not expect the class to be like how the Excel class is, right? So I hope we had a good class today. Please, I know some classes
Yes, sir.
are wrapping up, but our own class is kind of different to those classes. So you may not expect that we finish on the time they are finishing. But we'll try. I'm trying. You can see it from my rush that I'm trying to, from my activities. I'm trying to rush and ensure that we keep to time. All right. Thank you very much. Someone wants to say something?
Yes, sir. Please, what do I do with this now?
Yeah. I can't hear that.
I'm sorry. I want to ask.
Yes.
This there a way we can get the screenshots of this thing, because we might want to practice and be stuck at some point. Though we'll be jotting, but it's not everything that is here that we could picture, like write down.
Yes, if you download the video will capture the screen, so you see everything that is there.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone else want to say something also? There were two people who wanted to say something.
On YouTube.
Okay, please. I wanted to ask this my own case. How do I go about it?
Yeah.
That's really
Mr.
devastated
Godwin,
me. Yes.
how do we
please.
see now? Okay.
Well,
Maybe should we talk that? Should we say that offline so that we don't delay this class with that? Right?
Okay,
I
no
don't know how your
problem.
movement
And myself,
is
sir.
tomorrow.
And myself.
sir.
Hey, Brogbenga.
My own too.
Okay, I'm Brogbenga.
Yes.
Brogbenga, will you be in church tomorrow?
Yes, I will.
Okay, maybe I'll be in church tomorrow, then we can fix that. That's simple.
All right. Thanks.
All right.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
Thank
sir.
you very much, sir.
Okay,
So on
sir.
this
Thank
note,
you.
we can call it today. Thank you everyone for your attention in the class.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Good night. God bless you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, class.